Alright, welcome back. In the last video we were trying to finalize the pet, and turns out we can't because I don't have a hydro that matches and it leaves no points behind. So this is the other side of the little Beastmaster shop, and this is where I take hydros that I loot from a monster that come in a form similar to this. They look just like the ones I was using, except you see they have these lower numbers. So like this is a 6, that's a 6. These are all 6s. In fact, probably all of the ones in here are likely 6s. So to kind of teach this process, I think what we'll do is just go through and actually refine some. Now you're going to see each one of these items in front of me. Let's see if I got any that are close. Well, that's a 20, that's a 20, that's what we want for the ends. So if we were going to make a 20-point pet, we would need one more. So in the last video we sure learned, well, you better get those numbers right, because if you don't, you can't even use it. I didn't know that because the first time I made a 20-point pet, it worked and I got the numbers right, and then and I've just been using the pet, so I really don't know. Now, these ones that you're seeing on the screen now, which are the reprocessed enzymes, they're not that good. They're pretty low. They're in the 14s or in the 13s, and you really need them 15. You really need a bunch of 16s or higher in order to get into the 20-point pet. And I would probably say you're going to want a 16 with maybe a 17 or an 18 thrown in there. We're not going to get that. We're unfortunately not going to have what it takes to get anywhere near, but really all we're looking for is 18 points. Another 17 or an 18. So our pet's going to be in the 50 range. So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to be using the enzyme centrifuge. And we are going to break down 5 of these things. Now, you're going to use an enzyme centrifuge separation tray, which is right here. I made them. They are basically what you take one of these, you place it into the enzyme centrifuge, and then you place your Hydrolase enzyme into it, and it basically spins it like you know, if they put blood into a test tube and they spun it to try to separate, whatever's in it out. You don't get to see any of that, but you just have to wait, and in the end you get a couple of enzymes, or 2 separate broken down enzymes. So we are still going to try to do the best we can and get, let me slow that down a little bit. These, which are the separation trays, you want either enzyme purity or mutation potential. These are all designed for purity, and these are a 2.75. These are everything that I'm using. I've made on my other character. This was the character that made it, so these numbers are important. You really want this to be a 3. 3 is a max. 2.75 is really good, but if you're really just like big into being a Beastmaster, then you want this to be a 3 because it's the max, and these numbers go to the multipliers the system uses to crank out enzymes. Since I'm not trying to be a Beastmaster, I just use a beast. I'm not a beast creator, I guess. I've gone and gotten some lasses, and we'll do a little bit of that later. When we get higher up, we'll go try to do some of that stuff. You really want to go kill crate dragons for it, because you want to try to get these hydros to be 7s at a minimum. If you put a bunch of 7s in these things, you use these, you run it through the process, you'll end up with a really, really high chance of getting a 20-point hydro, and it takes 3 of those. So I'm going to grab this, I'm going to drag it over to my inventory. This is a factory crate of them. I'm going to get 5 out. And I'm going to put it back. So just kind of leave it in there. It's just a little storage container. Now I'm going to open up the centrifuge. I'll put one in, and then I'm going to grab the highest one I can find. So I think I saw a 6.9. These are all pretty low. Nope, they're all real low. So I'm going to put a 6.27. I don't know if the little 2.7s and all that stuff ends up doing anything. We're just trying to get at least 17 or 18 points. So we'll put that in there. It's a 6.22. Now you'll understand why I have 5 of these in a second. Alright, I have all 5 of these things loaded, so now what I'm going to do is a Beastmaster. You have to be a Beastmaster that actually can use these things, I believe, to create them. If we look at this and we do an examination, these also have numbers. So this has a 2.43 purity. Again, this had a 2.75. Those two numbers will go into the process of what's going to create. Take this, break it down, and give us a higher number. So look at it, it's a 6.27. That should jump somewhere, hopefully between 10, 11, 12. I think 12 is about the highest I get with my stuff. I don't know if this goes to 2.5 and this is really close, or 3 and this one's not even close. But it seems to work. And probably if this was a 3, then the 6s would be plenty. So I made 5 of them. So we're going to run all 5 of them at one time. I'm going to right click, I'm going to start the incubation, and I get a little things that says this will take 3 hours. So I'm going to start each one of these incubators, or these centrifuges. And that will be a 3-hour process. What will come out of here will then, these will be used. So this is an element processor. So and I'm going to explain this now, and then when we do it, we'll just kind of move through it until we get all the way down to the enzyme reprocessor, which is the end. Again, I have 5 of these. So this one I'm creating on the centrifuges. I'm centrifuging 5 of them. Then I'm going to process the elements, and we're going to get elements A, B, C, D, and E. But you randomly get them, so you might get a B and an E, or an A and a B, or an A and a D, or 2 A's. Now I don't believe you can get 2 of the same. Then you're going to get those. You then take them, and I normally put in the first one A, B, C, D, E, so that I know that I'm processing that exact one. Then the reprocessing again uses some items. So every one of these canisters requires an item. So in this one I have the element reprocessing, or element processing canister. This is a 2.72. Again, you want it as close to 3 as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and preload these. So that we will be good to go. Now, we can go ahead and start the process, because I have a bunch of these storage droids that were on my other character that I went ahead and transferred over that have processed enzymes in them. So this is the enzyme elements. So we do want to try to get at least an 18. So we might go ahead and just use what I've got if I have enough preload. We may also wait and see what comes out of these. But if I have a 12, I know I'm going to be looking for at least a 12. So I'm going to put one in. That's a 12. That's a 10. There was a 12. Now we don't want to get another 19 because we won't be able to use it. Alright, so in this I have put a element processing canister and an enzyme A. It has an enzyme purity of 12. Again, if you're trying to make a rancor or something, you're going to want to do the mutation potential. You'll want these numbers flopped, but I'm not doing any type of mutation. So we'll open the second canister. I'm going to put this droid away. I'm going to get out the next droid. Next droid are bees. Open up the storage. Put this canister in. Let's see if we have any 12s. Now I know we're not trying to get 20 points, but we still want to try to do the best we can because this is going to come out random. And we may or may not end up with high quality. We may end up with a low number. Okay, I don't have any 12, so there's an 11. There's a better 11. That's even better 11. Since we're dealing with multipliers, that 11.71 might actually make a difference. It's not going to be like the other thing where it's only going from the first number, I believe. There is an almost 12. So we're going to put that one. Put that droid away. Don't have very many C's, do I? I think the 1116 was the highest, and I didn't put it in there, so it must be. We are going to wait. We're not going to start these because I want to see if maybe, you know, some 12s come out of these other ones as well. But we're just going to kind of preload them. There's a 12.6. We'll use that one for sure. So we get 11.66 on this one, which is an 8. Alright, so this has got, if I examine one of these things, it will show me that it has, well, it does not. It's showing me contents 1 of 2. They should all have 2 in them, so let's open them. Oh, they only show the 1 because they're processing already. So we started them 10 minutes ago. We're going to go through the process. We're going to let it completely run to see if any of them are better than what I've got in here in the element, whatever this thing's called, the element processor. And then when we're done, we will take what you saw, which were the total blue ones, and then we will put them into this enzyme reprocessor. So we'll go ahead and preload this with the cartridge. You only need one of these. This is a 2.14, so that's pretty sorry. But we have, if you look, we have two 20s. So the higher it is, the better. But you can't get more than 20. So, I'm a firm believer that you want this number. So this one is a 1.67 is the enzyme purity of this reprocessor. I'm pretty sure you're going to want this to be a 2. But 1.67 is not terrible. This, which is the reprocessing canister, mine is a 2.14. Pretty sure you want that to be a 2.5 or 3 because the higher the better, the more likely it's going to give it this big jump, because these numbers all go to the multipliers that the system use. But we're going to stop right here, and we'll pick it back up when the centrifuge is finished. We'll take a look and see if we get anything out of here better than what we've already got preloaded. If we do not, we'll start this process. The enzyme processing, I believe, takes 2 hours. And then the enzyme reprocessing to get our ultimate hydro, I believe it takes 3 hours. So this is an old school game. In an old school game, you do actually have to, time. Sometimes it takes time to do things, which is really cool. This is a very complicated process, and it's one of the things that a lot of people have trouble with. And honestly, I haven't found any good videos that actually are going through and explaining what I'm doing now or how it works to get each one of these. So our ultimate goal is to have this number, which is the enzyme purity, to be as close to 16 as possible. I think we had a bunch of 15s and we put them in there, so there's a 15, it's a B. Then we would probably be in pretty good shape to have a good chance of an 18 or 19. Again, we're not trying to get 20s. If we're trying to get 20s, we want these to be 16s or higher, at least with my setup. And it'll give me a 20 almost every time. Every now and then, occasionally, you'll get a 19. That's probably how I ended up with some of those 19s. But it'll work. All right, I will cut the video here, and we'll pick back up when the centrifuges are done. We're back. Let's see if we got anything good. So there's some C's, there's some A's, there's E and D, another A, and C and B. So we've got, looks like one of every letter, so let's just start with the beginning. We're just looking to see if we get better options than what we already preloaded. So the A we've got in here right now is a 12. That is an 8. That's terrible. That's terrible. These are terrible. More than likely, we're not going to get anything better than what we got. So let's just look. These are all horrible. 8s, whatever it is. Now, my character is extremely low level. So that could possibly be affecting it. There's probably some type of Beastmaster skill or something that I don't have, and we're going to end up with some trash probably, which probably means that these enzymes right here are going to be as good as we're going to get. And because we don't have any points in the mutation, so if we look over on the Beastmaster skills, this right here says can improve up to 20% bonus to your enzyme quality during incubation. Alright, well, that just might be this process. And if so, because we don't have any points in there, we are going to end up probably with some trash. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So let's see, helps improve, grants bonus to genetic engineering. So, yeah, this thing might end up just being a trash bed after all. But that's okay. So let's go ahead and start these processes because, you know what? Here, we're not going to get any better. More than likely, these are all going to turn out to be just trash anyway. We'll start them just to see what we get. But I'm going to go ahead and just take from my selection, and we're just going to make anything, and it will be what we end up using. So I've got an A there, an A there. We'll go ahead and try to take at least the highest ones I've got. There's a 15, 13. Okay, so these are all pretty low. This will take 3 hours. So I'll pick this back up in 3 hours, and then hopefully we'll have some type of hydro we can put in the incubator down there. We can get him finished, and then tomorrow we will have a pet we can kind of go out and level. Looks like we will have a trash pet, so we're definitely going to be trying to loot some good stuff. We'll put some points into the incubation process and come up with some better hydros, because we need one more 20 in order to make a 20-point pet, and we ain't gonna get it doing what we're doing right now. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, let's see what we got. 16. That's not bad, because I thought that was about all we were going to get anyway. We were trying to get a 17, and we figured we'd probably lose a point, so not too disappointed by that. All right, let's pull this in here. Shut that down. Open that. Drop that 19 in there because we can't use it. Now let's go over here and start the last phase. Experimentation session. There it is. I think we were using green and yellow, even if we weren't. That's an evasion, we want that. We got 12 points, can't put it on any of those. Let's put all 12, or all 16 into here, because we want to try to get this as high as we can. So this is going to leave us with a 51-point pet, is what it looks like. And when we're done, I'll be able to show you what that means. In fact, we'll probably be able to show you in a second. So we've got everything. I think we're good with the color. Let's see if we can make it a little darker. Nope. We're going to stick with the brown. Got 1 point left. Looks like a 52-point pet. Alright, so now we don't have any points left. We can commit. So clearly that was the problem. Good to know. It is committed. So let's look at this. Okay, so now how do we determine what a 60-point pet is? You look at these right here. So there's this little group of things right here. So if these are all 10, that's a 60-point pet. So we got 10, 20, 30, 38, 46, 52. So we get a 52-point pet, which will be pretty good. It'll still qualify and do a lot of the things we want. So we've got like a 40 block rating, because remember we had one of those that did block. We did one that had evasion. I think there was also another stat. I don't know if we did the health. I thought we did. I don't know if that's a health bonus. If we did do health. So it looks like this will be 12.5 hours again. So we'll pick this back up tomorrow and actually hatch the pet and start doing a few missions. We wouldn't actually do a full daily missions terminal. I didn't ever finish the daily mission terminal. So if I go to the daily task, daily mission terminal, complete 5 daily missions. Normally this thing expires. Maybe because of my level, it's not. Normally if you don't finish it, it just kind of goes away, but it's still giving us credit, or it's at least we have the quest. So we'll give that a shot and we'll see what happens. We're still going to try to do the G9 at some point, because that is a great way to save locations like this little area that I have all my stuff. So that is it. We will pick up the video with hatching this and or start a new video. We will start a new video by hatching this pet and putting it to the test.